Right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're looking at a massive system that shapes and honestly, sometimes completely shatters the futures of millions. I'm talking about the circus that is the Indian education system. Today, we're relying entirely on the facts and the direct reports. We're going to unpack exactly why so many students, parents, and teachers are feeling completely overwhelmed by all this.
3 students, 3 young lives gone. It is absolutely heartbreaking. Recently, reports came out that 3 NEET aspirants allegedly took their own lives right in the middle of this massive re-NEET controversy. Millions of students in this country are already under an incredible amount of pressure, right? But when the fundamental fairness of the exam itself gets called into question, that anxiety just skyrockets. And people are furious. We're seeing viral movements popping up everywhere, like the satirical cockroach janta party, along with peaceful protests organized alongside activist Sonam Wangchuk. And they're all basically asking one simple question: how many of these controversies need to happen before someone actually takes responsibility?
Section 1. Examination controversies and failures. You see, when trust in an exam collapses, the entire purpose of that test fails. These aren't just isolated glitches. We can actually map out these structural failures across the major exams. Take NEET 2024, for example. The outrage this year was massive. We're talking unusual score distributions, serious allegations of paper leaks, questionable grace marks. It literally went all the way to the Supreme Court. Then you look at the CBSE board exams. For years, students have been reporting huge evaluation mistakes. Imagine finding out your answers were just left totally unchecked, drastically tanking your college admissions or scholarship chances. No way, right? And then there's SSC and CUET. Year after year, students travel miles just to get hit with server crashes and absolute administrative chaos at their exam centers. There is a quote that really hits the nail on the head when it comes to this student frustration. An examination should test knowledge, not a student's ability to survive administrative confusion. Seriously, imagine grinding for an entire year, finally showing up to your center, and having to navigate a bureaucratic nightmare before you even pick up a pen. Section 2. The root of the problem. Because honestly, just fixing a few server crashes isn't going to cut it. Even if every single exam ran flawlessly tomorrow, the foundation of the education system is still broken. From day one, this system basically rewards you for memorizing stuff. Definitions, formulas, entire paragraphs. Stuff you're going to forget the second you walk out of that exam hall. But think about what the real world actually demands from us. It requires problem solving, adaptability, financial literacy, and creativity. The reality is, our current system rarely prepares students for life. It just prepares them for the next test. Section 3. The middle class burden. Let's talk about who really takes the hit when these massive systemic failures happen. It is what we call the middle class trap. Look, wealthier families, they usually have a safety net, expensive private alternatives, maybe international opportunities. Lower income families might have access to specific government support schemes, but the middle class, they are squeezed tight. Parents will spend years, literally drain their life savings on coaching institutes. And the kids, they sacrifice their hobbies, their sleep, basically their entire youth, just for one single exam. They put absolutely everything on the line. Because for them, education isn't just education. It's hope, it's social mobility. For these middle-class families, an examination failure isn't just a dropped grade. It is intensely personal, and it is devastating. It feels like a door slamming shut on a better future. Section 4. Demands for accountability. So with all this at stake, public frustration has naturally boiled over, and a lot of persistent questions are being pointed straight at the government's response, specifically the education minister. Let's look at this impartially. There are really 2 primary viewpoints in the current political debate. On one hand, supporters say the education system is just way too massive to blame one single individual for systemic leaks and crashes. On the flip side, critics argue that true leadership inherently means accepting responsibility when massive failures happen on your watch. But here is the crucial takeaway. Ultimately, students don't just want one single resignation. What they really desperately want is deep transparency and a total systemic reform. And that desire for reform, it's spreading like wildfire. Young people are completely done staying silent. They're using the satirical cockroach janta party, backing advocates like Sonam Wangchuk, and organizing massive, highly effective social media campaigns. Through these peaceful demonstrations, they are forcing a long overdue conversation about accountability in a system that has ignored them for way too long. Section 5. Fixing a broken system. So, how do we actually move forward and catalyze real change? Well, here is a highly actionable blueprint for reform. Number 1, we absolutely have to increase agency transparency immediately. 2, digitally audit answer sheets so that human grading errors become a thing of the past. 3, we need robust, foolproof safeguards against paper leaks. 4, radically upgrade the infrastructure at exam centers so traveling students aren't left totally stranded. And 5, which is perhaps the most important, we have to evolve the curriculum entirely past rote learning. We need an education system that rewards actual understanding and gives students a foundation they can actually trust. At the end of the day, India has some of the brightest students in the world. The system shouldn't be treating them like numbers on a spreadsheet. The students are not the problem here. Education is supposed to create opportunities, build minds, and spark innovation, not cause administrative grief and endless uncertainty. Which leaves us with a final provocative thought. Will the system finally change, or is it just going to prepare for the next exam? Take a moment to really think about the future of Indian education based on the facts we've laid out today. Are we finally ready to build a system that prepares students for life? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. If you found this structured breakdown insightful, please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to Unbiased Opinion. We're going to keep bringing you factual explainers that question the narratives and break down the issues that truly matter. I'll see you in the next one.